Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the video.
Hey there, Rulers, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the red, black, blue RR Stranger combo deck that you saw Paul play earlier this week. Tons of fun. This list was sent to us by Will Lugar, and it is wholly designed on the idea of getting your Strangers out as fast as possible, and then kind of controlling the game after that with your spells and your reflect triggers and things like getting instant speed Strangers when you're not supposed to, anything like that. Very, very cool. Very, very well interesting build. Just wanted to show it off to you guys. Obviously, we're starting with Reflect Refrain. This is one of the most intricate rulers because it's a double-sided ruler. I'm not going to touch too much about it, although keep in mind that in order to make the combo go off, you need to be on the refrain side because you need calmness, or you need to have Scheherazade on the board. Stone base wise, we're playing 4 Hearth's Core, 3 Atarakti's Memoria, and 3 Dark Depths. In actuality, I'd probably want to see this deck play a little bit more Darkness sources, especially because of some of the stone base that it's using for its Strangers, but it is a little bit tricky to be able to get that lineup right, especially since you also need the dark to be able to play Lover's Lock, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Stranger wise, we're just going to go into those real quick. We're playing 10 unique ones. We're playing a Kronos for that lockdown, Ushua for being able to, that's the wrong one, Ushua for being able to pocket burn stuff, Morrigan to be able to burn hands. These should all be Strangers and not the card. Arthur because he's really great to be able to grab Percival's, Faust because he keeps coming back, Rahab because he draws you cards, Jabberwock for instant speed board wipes, Shade for forcing your opponent to sacrifice stuff, Regulus for being able to go aggro and stop and burn your opponent for damage when they try to answer it, as well as Guardian of Outland for being able to ramp stones and suddenly have a 20/20 body very, very early. So apologize for importing the deck here into Untap and not having it add that Stranger tag, but keep in mind that these are the cards, it's just the Stranger versions of them. Going into the main deck real quick, we play 2 copies of Refrain Summoning, generates you that token, which is a body on board, usually only costs you 1, and then you get to draw 3 and put 2 back, which is very, very nice for that hand construction for a combo deck. 2 copies of Lover's Lock because it can trigger the Refrain side, as well as being quick cast and getting you some more will for Mage Arts or Strangers, which is very, very helpful. And then we're also playing 4 copies of Change the Heart, obviously, because it's a Regalia deck, so you should play 4 copies of its Regalia. 2 copies of Space-Time Anomaly for Spot Kid removal and draw power. 3 copies of Erendite. 3 copies of each of Red Illusory Dragon of Passion and Misel. Misel helps you get your combo off a little bit earlier, as well as put that defensive body on board. 3 Princess of Love takes control because it lets you recover pieces, as well as return your Strangers back to your hand to be able to use them multiple times. 3 copies of Between Passion and Calmness for this kind of potential cheap pocket removal, as well as being able to potentially do a board push your opponent through for lethal with the board's pump of +6. 4 copies of Spiral because it's your main combo piece to combat with Scheherazade's Heroic Epic. You want to be using Scheherazade's Heroic Epic and then copying it as many times as possible with Spiral in the same chase so that you get a bajillion different Strangers all at once. And that for very little will. And then Scheherazade, obviously, to be able to set up for those Strangers at instant speed. And then lastly, 4 copies of Percival to again find you those spells and keep your hand filtering to be what it needs to be. So it is a very complicated deck. Definitely take some time to practice it out. Ultimately, the whole idea is you play Scheherazade's Heroic Epic at a timing where Spiral of Convergence can be cast multiple times for very, very cheap, like 2nd, 3rd, 4th card, maybe even pull off 3 in the same chase, so that you suddenly are sitting on 4 free Strangers for 3 or 4 will that your opponent just sometimes gets locked out of the game that way. But that is it for the deck profile. Huge thanks to Will for hooking us up with it. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have a different take on Reflect, we'd love to hear about it. You can go ahead and consider joining a member at the $5 level. You can even suggest and have your deck profile played on the channel. So let us know in the comment sections down below. And until next time, this is GMO73 saying class dismissed.